This video is for Chapter 7, Practice Problem 1. In this chapter, you'll be working with bank reconciliations, and we'll start with determining about the transactions that you see on the screen and whether they have an increase to the bank balance or the checkbook balance, or they have a decrease to the bank balance or checkbook balance. It's very important that you can analyze this and get everything on the right side with the correct increase or decrease when you're reconciling a bank statement. Deposits in transit to the bank. These deposits have already been added to your checkbook, so they now need to be added to your bank statement since they are not on there yet. If you have an error in the checkbook, obviously it's going to affect the checkbook. So your question is whether it's an increase or a decrease. If you recorded it as $32, that means you subtracted 32 instead of 23, then you've subtracted too much. So you need to add to your checkbook balance. Service fees by the bank have already been subtracted from the bank balance, but they have not been subtracted from your checkbook. These can be substantial, so it could really make a difference in making sure that you have a proper balance and you're not overdrawing. Outstanding checks have already been subtracted from your checkbook, but they have not been subtracted from the bank because they have not cleared the bank yet. A non-sufficient fund check deposited earlier, that means you've added it to your checkbook, but now you need to subtract it since it was a non-sufficient funds. If you have an error in the checkbook, obviously something needs to be done to the checkbook. In this case, you recorded an error, a check that you recorded as $22, but it was actually $222. So in this case, you're going to need to deduct from your ending checkbook balance. And a bank credit memo advising a note was collected for us, so that means an accounts receivable was collected, so you're adding to your account. It's already on the bank balance, but you need to add it to your checkbook balance and then check your work. Okay, then practice problem 2. In this case, you're going to prepare the journal entries for a bank reconciliation. So we have the bank reconciliation shown above, and I'm going to have snipped it. I already did, and I'm going to put that on the right side of my screen, and on the left side I'm going to put the part at the bottom that I need to see. Okay, so I'm going to start with looking at to correct error on check number 291. And if you look at this, we need to add error on check number 291. So in other words, we have more cash. So we add cash in the amount of $23. And it was an accounts payable, and we credit that for $23. Okay, the next one is a non-sufficient fund check. Deduct $130. So on this one, we need to add to our accounts receivable. And in that case, it was, I lost the amount, non-sufficient fund, $130. And we need to subtract from cash. Since it was a non-sufficient fund, they still owe us. So we're going to debit the accounts receivable, but we're going to credit cash. And the last one, to record a service charge, a bank service charge, we debit a miscellaneous expense for service charges, and that was $10. And we credit cash for that one, $10. And check your work. I put the wrong amount here. So just look to see what you did, and it should have been 130 instead of 230. And check your work again. Also notice on this one there are some hints if you need some help with it. Some of your problems do have hints, so be sure and use those. And that is now correct. End of this video.